This is about 2.5 years ago. I heard this episode of Last Podcast on the Left. This introduction was for episode 114 of it's the Bridgewater Triangle episode. Talks about a paranormal hotspot. It's like tons of Bigfoot sightings and UFOs and Thunderbirds, which are, you know, really cool stuff. I didn't understand what song he was referencing until I was driving home on the radio yesterday and heard Smooooooth by Santana.
You gotta That's good. Is this what we're going to start the show with?
Oh, yes, we'll get it.
Henry has his phone on the table, Marcus. You have to
Get your phone off the table, Henry.
All right, welcome to the show. That's Marcus Parks. I'm Ben Kissel.
Oh, yes, we'll get about it.
What is it? What is that?
Oh, yes, we'll get about it.
It's like if Chili could speak.
Yeah,
And the macaronis,
effervescent
too.
Combination of Santana and Robert Jameson. What's his name for Matchbox? Matchbox 29?
That would be Rob Thomas.
Rob Thomas. What?
Hey, look, you mind not breathing all over me, man. I'm trying to work here.
Okay, so now go to www.
Oh, yes, we'll get it.
.com.
Kid never heard of mouthwash. Is this the website?
No, you typed it wrong. There are two S's.
Hey now, don't look at this. This isn't for children to see. Who is this little? Stupid computer froze up. Hang on, I'll reboot. This is probably gonna take a
It was
minute.
the best of times. It was the worst of times. You stupid monkey. You are a fucking hillbilly. You are a hillbilly. I am a god. You don't even have a penthouse. You are a fucking hillbilly. You live on a farm.
That's the opposite of what I was saying. That's the good thing.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on.
God damn it. That one always makes me do the wheezing laugh whenever I hear it, just because it's so good. It's classic. Oh, man. Great episode. You know, they've got so many episodes. I listened pretty much this entire quarantine. I was listening to Last Podcast. I know Grace said that one day she's pretty sure I had it playing for like 48 hours straight. I mean, I was probably asleep majority of it, but you know, great podcast. Go and give them a listen. They talk about a lot of spooky stuff, you know, a lot of fun, macabre stories. I mean, I guess we've only had 2 episodes, so I can't really focus in on what my genre is yet, but it appears to be dinosaurs. Well, based on all the feedback people are liking, it's only been 1 episode of dinosaurs so far, so let's see if we can do some more. I don't know. Welcome everybody, Soccer Mom's podcast. This is your resident host, I guess, Dave. Today I'm alone today. No friends, no siblings over today, but it should be a short one. It shouldn't be too long. It shouldn't be exhausting to listen to. I know some of you watch time's only about like 2.5 minutes, so it's like, hey, at least, you know, I'm getting some kind of statistical bump on YouTube. I don't know. I'm still not even like officially a podcast of sorts right now. This is just still some geek putting up YouTube videos of him ranting and rambling on YouTube. You know, figures. Today we're going to talk about Dilophosaurus, and it's the grand mystery behind its discovery, dissension, you know, classification, and etc. You know, as well as do our little UPI closeouts. Those are always fun.
On this island, there is no such thing as safe. We have to get back on that plane. Will you tell your wife to stop making that noise? That is a very, very bad idea.
Amanda?
Ben?
Amanda, honey, Dr. Grant said that's a bad idea.
What?
He says it's a bad idea.
What's a bad idea?
I mean, what are you doing here?
Is it Dilophosaurus? I think so. The sign's bigger.
This is a Dino Defender alert.
Why is it looking at me like that?
What's that look in its eyes?
Blake! Ah! Chasing me, Blake! No! He's chasing me! Okay, I'm gonna get out! Drop behind us! The gates are real! We're saving us! Oh my God!
Our scientists have done things which nobody's ever done before.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
Oh, let's forget about it. Every time I do it, I sound like one of those Muppets. The one. Oh, let's forget about it. I can't remember the name of the Muppet, but it's the big guy who's kind of purple. Or no. He's the one that looked like a bear and he had like a giant mouth. Treasure Island. He had like a bandana. I'll look up his name later, but we're not here for that. We're not here, and I mean, again, I want to say thank you to all 50 of my listeners out there. I know all of you are taking time out of your schedule to figure out how to use YouTube and figure out where Dave's weird video page is, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Keep listening, keep posting, keep sharing, spreading the word. Eventually, in about 20 years, maybe I'll have, some kind of recognition. I don't know. This is fun. This is just fun to rant and ramble and just read stuff on the internet. Usually I don't do this. I play video games and get bored. So, this is nice. This is real nice. Thank you. So, today I went up to Berkeley. I didn't go to Berkeley. I attended Purdue and dropped out. I'm talking about I went to the website. Berkeley. It's spelled different. It looks like Berkeley, but it's spelled, I don't know, edu.edu. So I'm assuming it is the college's webpage. I don't know. Dr. Sam Wells is a paleontologist who I've been following, and he's the guy that actually narrates a lot of his own discoveries here. You can go to his webpage, and it has all these audio files from him describing what he found, his process, his thought process, and it's really kind of fascinating stuff. I'll probably include some of his audio in here and there because I'd rather you hear about these discoveries and such from the paleontologists themselves. I mean, that's where you get your facts straight. Me here, I'm drinking a six-pack while I'm doing this. It's not exactly the most official of forms of media. Don't use me in any research papers. Kids, get your sources cited. Always cite your website sources. That's why I include my links and descriptions every single time. Because even then, if they come in and they're like, oh, it's not in your transcript, I'm like, well, it's in my description. But, Anyway, let's start off with the beginning of Dilophosaurus. Summer of 1942, Dr. Camp and Sam Wells were on a joint expedition into Navajo country. Ooh. I know. I actually have a friend who lives out in Albuquerque. He's Navajo. He lives on reservation. Real fun. He told me about some creepy stories about skinwalkers, man. Clinton. Holy crap. Skinwalkers. That's some last podcast shit. That's some paranormal stuff. But that's not dinosaurs. That's not what we're talking about. Sidetracked. He was working on the Permian beds of Monument Valley, and the Molenkopi beds near Cameron. Okay, so this is where they were. At the end of the summer, after finding a lot of material in both of these lower formations, Dr. Camp had to return to Berkeley, and he asked me, quote, Sam Wells, to look up the report of a skeleton found in the Kayentaya formation, which might possibly be dinosaurian. All right. I tried to find this and failed and went to see Richard Curry, who was then the owner of the trading post at the foot of the Tuba City grave. Jiminy Christmas, there's like 40 different locations. He got hold of Jesse Williams, a Navajo who had described these bones in 1940. And they both took me out to the site, and with Bill Rush and Ed Cott, we set up camp and decided to go ahead and excavate. Sure enough, they found 3 dinosaurs in a triangle about 20 feet apart. and one was almost worthless, having been completely eroded. And the second was a good skeleton, showing everything except the front part of the skull. Sure enough, the third gave us the front part of the skull and much of the front part of the skeleton. These were collected in a 10-day rush job, loaded into a car, and brought them back to Berkeley. I like the way he says rush job in here. So here is Dr. Samwell's narrating how he discovered Dilophosaurus.
The third gave us the front part of the skull and much of the front part of the skeleton. These we collected in about a 10-day rush job, loaded them into the truck and brought them back to Berkeley.
Yeah. You got to imagine too, this is 1940s. So this is a wartime era. This is the same as we were talking about Spinosaurus discovery of the animal back in 1913, and then during a Nazi bombing raid in Munich, the fossil, the most complete skeleton they had ever found then was destroyed in the museum where it was being held or whatever. It's fascinating stuff, and this is the same thing, or the same time period actually when the fossils were lost. So it wasn't loading it up into the back of a car. That seems so like not passe, not official. It seems like it's just kind of we found some dino bones, throw them in a box, take them up to the shop, make sure they're dinosaurs. Today it's so fragile, you got to take care of these, because every piece of dirt, every speck of rock around these fossils is even a clue into the lifestyle and habits of these dinosaurs, because we'll never officially know. It's the grand mystery. I love that. The specimen was brought back to Berkeley and cleaned up by a WPA project under Dr. Wan Langston. Another name. That's like 4 names now. And it also says here, it took 3 men 2 years to clean and prepare the skeleton and then make a wall mount of the animal. We knew it was new, and in 1954, Samwells published a preliminary description naming it Megalosaurus weatherali, thinking it was just as well might belong there compared to anything else. They didn't know how new it was. Ooh. Back in 1964, 10 years later, Samwells became concerned over the age of the animal. It was based on differences of opinion as to whether the rock were in the Triassic or Jurassic age. Jurassic age. Did I say Jurassic? I did. Let's start over with that. Triassic or Jurassic age. It's depending on what time period it lived, because there's this great extinction at the end of the Triassic, and then it goes into the Jurassic, which is the planet's full of oxygen. And this is when you started seeing sauropods being built and theropods evolving into these huge creatures, because they had a bunch of divergent evolution going on, like all over the place, where creatures could just go nuts. They had that the perfect lush green tropics. That's when you picture Jurassic is the tropical time period. He returned, and yes, the rocks were in the Kenyan Formation, about a quarter mile south of the original, where I found a 4th skeleton, which turned out to be a very fine skeleton of adult animal. That 4th skeleton, after he returned in 1964, 20 years later, found it was this skeleton that, on preparation in our laboratory, showed very clearly that the animal had a double crest, and that the name would be changed from Megalosaurus to Dilophosaurus, double-crested lizard. The original skull also shows the crest, but we had not recognized it as a full crest. I thought it was some kind of, growth. The 2 crests had been crushed together. Yeah, that's why. And we had assumed they were part of a cheekbone that had been pushed out of place. I see. And I've been watching, there's a really fascinating video by like Sam Ernst or someone on YouTube right now, where he's developing a modern look at Dilophosaurus right now. I think it was commissioned by like the Las Vegas museum panel or something. I'll have to look back into it. But he has a whole video that I've been watching talking about the description of Dilophosaurus' crest, where it may even be larger than we expect. And there's some instances where crests are actually reinforced with more bone, and like there's a lot of comparison to birds, because a lot of hornbills and like cassowaries and stuff have those bony crests on top of their heads that they use for thermal regulation to actually cool their brains down in hot climates. And they have blood vessels running through these crests. There's also pneumatic holes on some parts of Dilophosaurus' skull, which actually kind of promotes the theory that it would inflate these crests like a bird, just to mating rituals or to intimidate other competitors. It's kind of fascinating stuff on what this crest was used for, and it always leads back to birds because they're so closely related.
How did you know we were here?
The phone, that stupid jingle from the store, I heard it.
My phone?
Yeah, your satellite phone. Where is it?
I don't have it.
When did you use it last?
On the plane. I got a call on the plane and...
What?
Loaned it to Nash. He must have had it when he...
Dilophosaurus was a fairly large ceratosaur, about 20 feet long and quite slender, but it is not the largest or most well-studied ceratosaur. It is represented by some of the most complete specimens of this genus, though, with a very good preservation. Considering their 150-odd million years of age. They threw that joke in there. They really threw the old age joke in there. I think I'm done. Again, always encourage research on your own. That was a quick little blurb on Dilophosaurus. Maybe we'll have some return episodes where we discuss more about the purposes of their crests or more about the actual state of their environment that they lived in. Like they said that even in this area they found tons of sandstone footprints, the riverbed footprints, where they have parallel claw scratches on the embedded like footprints or the actual scratches, and it shows evidence of dinosaurs swimming. Shows evidence of these theropods swimming, and when they swim they push their feet back, and that toe claw that they have scrapes the bottom of the riverbed and creates leaves those parallel scratch marks. Kind of cool stuff. Boom, boom, boom. It's stuck in my head, people. Now, ever since I heard that song and made that connection, it's stuck in my head, and I just can't forget about it. Shit, it's there again. Welcome back to Let's Do the UPI.com. Odd news. I had teased this earlier this week with the fashion. I hope you guys got that clue. It wasn't a decapitated body that this person found on the beach. It was actually a mannequin. November 17th, an environmental nonprofit in Florida said a volunteer walking on a beach discovered what seemed to be a macabre scene, but turned out to be a washed-up store mannequin. Ocean Hour, a Florida nonprofit that organizes beach cleanup events. Woohoo! Yeah! That's a party. Said a volunteer named Kathleen was walking the beach on the intercoastal side of Perdido Key when she came across what initially seemed to be a human body that was missing its head. Ooh, man. I mean, honestly, they have a picture of it, and it's pretty gross. It's pretty scary looking. It's just legs. It's missing a head. Oh, man. The nonprofit said another witness on the scene immediately called 911, but Kathleen took a closer look and discovered the barnacle-encrusted form was a headless storm mannequin that had apparently spent a good amount of time in the water before washing up on the beach. We are real glad it wasn't a real body, Oceanhour said in a Facebook post. They're just like, oh yeah, thank goodness it wasn't a real body. Oh boy, that's intense. Hello. All right, so yeah, improv. We're back onto the UPI.com. Seeing what stories popped up. There was another story I wanted to talk about. Our Guinness World Record of the Week thing. But until then, here's another story from UPI. Talks about a runaway dog from Canada crosses border into United States. Oh, he's adorable. There's a German Shepherd here. This was on November 17th as well. A dog who escaped from her family's home in New Brunswick had her homecoming complicated when she crossed the border in the United States. Now, why would crossing the border complicate things? Probably has something to do politically. Praise Michaud, ooh, that's an interesting name, said her father, Robert Cirrhosis, his name it looks exactly like cirrhosis, but it's just spelled with an S. Was caring for her German Shepherd Diamond. Ugh, it's a rough name for a dog. While she and her husband were at a hockey tournament with their 9-year-old daughter. This is already epitome of Canadian weekend story. Oh boy, I don't know if I can do the Canadian accent. I mean, Michaud said cirrhosis opened the garage door at the family's home, and the 17-month-old canine dashed out before he could stop her. Michaud, who was about 4 hours away at the hockey tournament, put out a plea on help for help on Facebook. Oh, here's a quote. Oh my God, I cried and cried and cried. I was in panic, Michaud told Bangor Daily News. I was walking like crazy in the hotel room, having my phone in my hand, praying that someone can find my dog. Oof, man. I know that it's sad when you can't find your animals or when they disappear like that. They're just going for a run, outside, exploring. Reports of sightings started coming in from people who saw a diamond cross into Maine via the International Bridge in Fort Kent and was seen headed toward the Lonesome Pine Trail ski hill in Fort Kent. Mitchell Desjardins, a family friend who lives in St. John, Maine, joined in the search and was able to take custody of Diamond after she wandered into a resident's garage. Michaud said she then faced a new problem: how to get Diamond home with the border closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Not anyone can go to Fort Kent because of COVID, Michaud said. The family was able to coordinate a handoff at the U.S.-Canadian border. Here's the handoff. The Jardins brought Diamond to the border, where the dog was allowed to cross and be taken home by family friends. Luc Villavoux, it's French, and annex cirrhosis. Maybe that's why cirrhosis is French, maybe? I don't know. I mean, they drink a lot, so I guess. Michaud said she and her family were reunited with Diamond on Sunday evening. She's a very good dog. She likes to play with everybody and also protective. I'm pretty sure the reason she ran away was to find my daughter. Okay, you don't need to assume the dog's intentions. Maybe the dog was tired of free healthcare and was trying to come down here to where things are complicated. I don't know. I'm glad she got her back, though. I feel like that's a interesting news story. Question mark? Oh, boy. Ooh. Another Florida story. I don't know if I want to do another Florida story. And then I don't want to do another Canadian story. Oof. Let's see what the magician story was. Because this one was the interesting Guinness World Record. A magician performs 20 tricks underwater, breaks Guinness World Record. I'm going to play it. Okay. This is pretty like ethereal right now, watching. Oh my gosh, you guys have to hear this. You guys have to hear this audio. Hold on a sec. I gotta take a second. So, you have to hear this. He wrote a rap song over his magic tricks.
When I first saw magic as a very young boy, I was totally blown away. It became my mission to be a magician, and I practiced every day. From conjuring coins to coming back, I was totally obsessed. I wanted fame, I wanted glory, I was going to be the best. I packed my bags, I moved to London, off to see the sights. I was standing on the stage, but I was blinded by the lights. Where was the fame? Where's the money? Where was all the glory? I was caught up in the city lights, but they told a different story.
Oh man, he's actually pretty good. I mean, the rapping's horrible, but the magic tricks he's doing are pretty amazing. He just pulled a bubble. He was doing card tricks, turned it into a red ball, and he's wearing diver gear right now.
It was in the most unlikely place that things began to change. Entertaining
It's actually
kids
kind of
with
cool.
a smile. I found
I mean, well,
inspired by those brave young
the
souls
rapping
that
is so
courage blew me
bad,
away.
but the magic
Showed
tricks
what
are
life is all
cool.
about, to just cherish every day. It is thanks to them I found my path and discovered what I should do.
He's going over
Raising
to
money,
a
breaking records,
glass
creating
box.
memories for you. I've jumped from planes, I've conquered fears, moved mountains out of my way. Yet nothing quite compares to what these heroes face each day.
A British musician broke a Guinness World Record when he performed 20 magic tricks underwater in just 3 minutes. Martin Rees of Hertfordshire, England, plunged into the pool in the underwater stage at Pinewood Studios in Iverhealth, England, and performed 20 magic tricks in 3 minutes, beating the previous record by 7 tricks. Ooh. Guinness said Reese's, it's got an apostrophe on it and it ends with an S. It's tough for me every time with my dialect. Reese's successful attempt was the first time the record had been broken in more than 10 years. Reese previously broke Guinness records for most cards identified in 1 minute, most magic tricks performed in a single skydive, most magic tricks performed blindfolded in 1 minute, and most magic tricks performed in a wind tunnel in 3 minutes. I have to find that video. If there's rapping over that video too, oh my gosh. It's real. Holy crap. He's got all of his videos on YouTube. Go follow Guinness World Records. And I guess we'll subscribe to them because I'll try and keep doing a record a week maybe. He's in the wind tunnel. He's performing tricks. There's a counter and a timer next to him. 2 dudes holding him and assisting him. On the other side of the wind tunnel, there's like a crowd of about 12 people just staring at him unenthused. How can you do card tricks in a wind tunnel? He's got cards. How's he doing a trick? His face is so funny too, because the wind is just... He just took a bite out of a coin and then spit it back in the coin. What the crap? That's 4 tricks there. Jesus, there's 2 more minutes of this. I can't do that. Holy crap. Remember to like and subscribe to Soccer Mom. Share to your friends and email us any thoughts, questions, comments, yada yada yada. That's the one thing I can't stop thinking of when I see magicians are their giant hands. Ooh, it makes me sick. Oh, oh man, the music. Oh, jeez, it cracks me up. Again, thanks everyone for watching, listening. Hopefully you made it this far. Have a nice rest of the week. There's another Soccer Mom Mondaze. Yeah, episode 3 in the books. Yeah, all right. Who's fucking about it?
Ladies and gentlemen, horse punch. And I'll spank your daughter with my gigantic hands. Look at these hands. Just take a good long goddamn look at my gigantic fucking hands. I got knuckles the size of pears.